Our business briefing this week explores the role of inbound tour operators in marketing local tourism products to international travellers. They charge commission, of course, but they may provide your business with exactly the sales boost you're looking for.
Being located at the bottom of the world can be a distinct disadvantage when most of your customers are thousands of miles away. But one way you can reach them is through an inbound tour operator. So how do they influence itineraries and secure the bookings that deliver us international travellers? As part of the international distribution process, inbound tour operators, or IBOs, can provide a seamless link between local tourism operators and international wholesalers and travel agents who sell our product to overseas customers. In this way, IBOs like ATS Pacific act as a kind of sales force selling local tourism to international customers in return for a commission paid by the local tourism operator.
Any supplier has an opportunity, I guess, to decide how to market their product, how to sell their product, and what we call the traditional distribution system can take many different forms. The most popular one would be the one that involves the retailer, the wholesaler, the inbound operator and the supplier.
Say an international visitor is planning a holiday in New Zealand. An international travel agent shows them a range of New Zealand packages, many of which can be booked online. These packages have been put together by a tour wholesaler to make it easier for the overseas traveller to make the decision to buy. But it's the IBO back in New Zealand who has sourced the tourism product information for the wholesalers to package. Distributing your product internationally can increase your volume of business, some say by more than 10%, without having to do all the legwork yourself. And while there's a cost, it's still cheaper than advertising, handling the marketing and distribution yourself offshore, and bookings and revenues are guaranteed. Bush and Beach is a day trip business that's been taking tourists to the rainforests of West Auckland for 20 years. Bush and Beach has a number of favourable characteristics from an IBO perspective. It's an established product with international appeal. Day trips run every day of the year except Christmas Day. It's not weather dependent and caters for a range of group sizes. Being within half an hour of the city, Bush and Beach can easily become part of the busiest travel schedule. Bush and Beach's international market is groups and free and independent travellers, and its product has been defined with these travellers in mind. The day trips can also easily be packaged with other New Zealand tourism products to create a package deal that appeals to overseas travellers. Owner Helen Bissett has fixed her product pricing to meet the market. This can often be the hardest part of the equation, as there's much to take into consideration.
When you're working with inbound operators, they're putting their brochures out up to 2 years ahead. So you have to work out prices not knowing what diesel prices are going to do, not knowing what wages are going to do, taking into consideration the commissions that you're paying for inbound operators. So it's not an easy thing. It's something you have to actually think quite hard about and talk to other operators in the areas and in the business and find out where they're heading, what they're thinking, so that you can actually stay in line with others and not be too far out of kilter.
The commissions paid to inbound tour operators are always negotiable and depend on the dollar value of your product. A typical day trip is priced at $130 a head. The commission might be 25% or $32.50. This is made up of 5% or $6.50 to the IBO. The wholesaler and the travel agent take 10% each. That leaves Helen with 75% of her original price to cover tax, operating costs and income from around 4,000 tourists a year.
What the inbound operators charge is absolutely worth it. This company couldn't operate without them. There's no way I could market to that number of people in Auckland without the inbound operators having booked them for me.
It seems a lot of money to pay out for distribution, but in fact there's a lot of effort that has gone on, and the only time that the supplier actually is contacted in terms of that distribution is when the sale is made.
There are many international distribution models, and as regional tourism organisations have a working relationship with a number of inbound tour operators, they can often advise you on what is likely to work best for your product and your region. Bush and Beach has been involved in international distribution for several years and prefers to liaise directly with a number of IBOs, including ATS Pacific. So when's a good time to consider distributing your product internationally?
The criteria we require from suppliers is that they're wholesale ready. So in other words, that they have products that we can buy in and on-sell allowing for the margins and commissions that need to be paid out along the way. That's very important. But what's also very important is that the quality of the product is there, and we're really pleased to see that Qualmark is making some progress in this, and certainly takes the pressure off us to some degree that we can point to something which has been, I guess, there's been some checks and balances done on the business, and that's in fact is performing to a certain level.
So what's the least you need to know about inbound tour operators? IBOs coordinate an international distribution chain that markets your product directly to overseas travellers, but you must be prepared to pay commissions of 20 to 30%. Products need to have international appeal with a long-term fixed price structure and operate year-round. A Qualmark rating is often an advantage. Your regional tourism organisation keeps inbound tour operators up to date with local products, so talk to them first. The Inbound Tour Operators Council of New Zealand has a comprehensive website, or see our website for more details.